Coastland is packing up for a move she doesn't want.
The whole thing right from the beginning has been very traumatic.
She and the roughly 30 other tenants of this Esquimalt apartment building were served eviction notices in April. After taking their fight to the residential tenancy branch, the arbitrator ruled the tenants have to be out at the end of November for the new owner to carry out renovations.
The person was going to do the renovations. The work needed to be done. And again, there are some supports being provided to the tenants, and they've got some time to find another place.
Many of the renters are low income, on disability or a fixed pension, like Coastland.
Worked for the provincial and federal governments for a lot of years, and I put a lot of time in too, and it's like, oh, well, thank you. It's like, oh, this is what it is.
Coastland and many of her neighbors can't afford market rent and fear they could become homeless.
Those people, they're constantly in fear, am I going to be on the streets?
Because the new owner is doing renovations, not a total demolition, Esquimalt's tenant assistance policy isn't triggered, and any stronger policy is the province's jurisdiction.
It's time the provincial government does something to actually stop this from happening. If they really want to stop renovictions, then they need to change the laws.
King says what's needed is a province-wide tenant assistance policy to better protect tenants facing displacement, but also to prevent taxpayers from paying for the consequences down the line.
This kind of displacement has a consequence for us as a society and for the taxpayer. Ultimately, it's going to be the taxpayer that has to try to find a new home for these people. And honestly, that should be the responsibility of the developer.
The other issue King has is who is buying decaying apartment buildings like this. He says 519 Sturdy Street would have been the perfect building for a nonprofit society to buy and renovate while keeping tenants on site. But nonprofits aren't being given the right of first refusal when older apartments go up for sale.
The provincial government needs to get a little bit more serious about funding nonprofits to take over these buildings because we can't build our way out of the housing crisis. For every new development that we create, a building like Sturdy Street is lost and low-income places are lost.
For Coastland, when she looks around at Esquimalt and beyond, it's bleak.
Yeah, it's got to change, and if it doesn't change, like I said before, it's going to escalate real bad.
Packing up now, unsure of where her next home will be and how long she'll be able to stay.